Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Starman Just Watched. Me and Billy at it again. I was going to do that, but you beat me to it. Damn you. There was no S in that opening. I guess just watch, but I did not think of it in time.
No.
So yeah, if you haven't figured out, the theme of this movie is snakes. Or is it? Actually, very little to do with snakes. So yeah, Venomous is the movie, 2001 movie.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this came out before Snakes on a Plane, so I couldn't even make. Well, the snakes had to go somewhere from that plane. And the other unfortunate thing, which made sense later on, was it was only rattlesnakes that we're dealing with.
And then we realized that halfway through the movie was like, that's why it makes sense, because we had to explain the...
Yeah, we'll get into why after a bit. Simple plot, Billy.
Outbreak but with snakes. There.
There you have it.
Like, that's it, right?
Yeah. It's a military virus that we use to genetically enhance snakes. Because we're going to drop them on Saddam.
Yeah, because it does open up in 1990.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
It made sense, the time period. But at what point are you like, this might not be a good idea?
Yeah. Because like I said, like, you get that opening scene where they blow up the building, which...
Okay, there are so many fallacies in this movie. It was frustrating.
Oh, yeah, like, and... that was why I suggested this movie, because Treat Williams, I like him as an actor, so...
Yeah, he wasn't a bad actor. I'm not discrediting any of the actors here.
No.
I just think the story and plot and everything else was garbage.
Oh, yeah, no, like, you gotta work with what we got, right?
Yeah. I think everyone just looked at this as a paycheck.
Direct-to-DVD movie, what do you expect, right?
Yeah. So yeah, our opening scene is that two spies, is what I'll call them, but they really didn't clarify who or what these people were.
Oh, Iraqi commandos.
Oh, how would I figure that out, Billy? I know it says it there in the plot line on the wiki, but how would I have known that?
Because I think at one point they said, one of them said this is what they plan to use on us.
Yeah, but that...
But it doesn't make sense. That could have been anyone, right?
Yeah, that could be anyone. You know how many enemies America actually has?
Damn it, say the line.
More than you'd think and less than you'd hope. So yeah, it's like it didn't clarify why the snakes were actually made.
No.
It didn't clarify why these two spies came in with small amount of C4, mind you.
Yeah, like not even full bricks of C4.
No, 4 half bricks.
Yeah, that would. So they found the ball in the basement. What they had would have taken out the basement, out the fucking building.
Yeah, I was like, they were just casually put there too.
Yeah,
it wasn't like we found a strategic place in the basement where the foundation would have collapsed the whole building. I would have maybe believed that if you put it in a more specific location.
Just bomb out on like just a pallet.
Yeah, just a crate nearby. You're like, yeah, nope, right here's fine. C4 strong enough to blow down a building.
Yeah, the right amount.
The right amount. This was not the right amount. I'm not a bomb expert, mind you, or anything, but even I went, I don't think that's enough.
No. Like, this is a song they're just little, like, half bricks. Like, that's not too much damage.
Yeah, there were 4 bricks in a briefcase. Yeah. That's what it was. And they closed the briefcase, so...
Yeah, like... Iraqi commandos, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, so then we cut to the future. I think it's like 2001 or something.
Yeah. It's like...
modern day.
2000, yeah.
Yeah.
10 years later then.
Yeah. Santa Maria?
Yeah.
I believe is the town name. Or Santa Marie.
Yeah. Yeah, something.
Close enough.
Santa something.
Yeah. Santa M.
Well, there
There's
you go.
so many of them anyway.
Oh, yes.
So I apologize for any of our viewers from there. I do hope to see your beautiful towns and be able to clarify the difference in names. The only one I really know is Santa Monica.
Yeah, that's the only one I would know.
Yeah.
And Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, I do know that one. I was thinking more of just the ones that have an M in them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa Monica's the only one I could do.
Yeah. Anyway, so this town, small, quiet town, known for earthquakes.
Yeah.
And we get our opening scene of an old man and his dog.
Aw.
This is where I was like, okay, you can't just kill an animal on screen. You can't just imply death to animal. First thing we open with, snake bites the dog.
No!
Yeah. Dog goes to the owner. Owner does not notice bite marks on the dog's face, which is a terrible owner.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Dog just licks the owner.
Licks the owner. Owner then suffers some sort of attack, viral attack. Gets sent to the hospital. Dies shortly after.
Yeah.
And everyone's scratching their head about what just happened. We cut to another guy, unfortunately named Billy. Yeah. So, off camera, Billy does not like it when there's a character named Billy because you can guess.
Yeah, overused name.
Oh, it's an overused name. And even I'm subject to it. I'll quickly name something Billy for a lack of a better name.
I was not thinking of the bottom of the room.
Yeah. I try my best not to do it when Billy's around, but
Yeah.
anyway, side story. Done. Yeah, Billy gets bit by a rattlesnake.
Goes in, gets the venom, anti-venom, then goes to work.
Yeah, goes to work, thinks he's fine.
Yeah.
Goes to work, infects everyone at the diner, because he works at a diner. And now we have a massive outbreak. And then the movie quickly switches to killer snakes to a viral attack.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, oh god, this is definitely a knock off of a break.
Yeah. And that is the whole movie for pretty much the first hour out of the hour and a half runtime on this. It's just us fighting a virus.
Yeah.
And
then an hour in, you deal with the snakes. I'm like, okay.
And not even for that much time.
No, like,
I don't know why you called this Venomous.
yeah, like,
I think all the other names were taken.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened here.
yeah, it's like, alright, we're gonna name it Outbreak. No, we're done. Like, okay, well, there's earthquakes involved. God, tremors!
No. Well, we have snakes, but they're not a huge part of it. I would do like Rattler or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Infection.
Yeah, or something. Like,
lean more to the disease side of this, because that's what your movie's really about. Disease. And we have the ever so typical military plot.
Oh yeah, the typical, like, military's, the only solution is...
blow it all up. But we can't, sir. There's people alive. Well, we'll just have to convince the president that no one's alive in there.
Yeah.
So we'll do our little song and dance and then vacate out.
Yeah.
And really, it's because I'm an asshole and I want to keep the snakes alive because we can still weaponize them.
Yeah. No, I'm like... Now, I want to say the asshole general, like... What's this? It's like, didn't she say that what's his name? Dr. Edmonds?
Yeah.
Say that I thought she put two together, the guy who's responsible for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Sparks.
Yeah, Sparks, I think, is what his name was.
Yeah. Sparks was the
the big asshole one.
And
Manchek was the assistant asshole one, who like turned good at the end.
but
not soon enough.
No. I'm like, you knew that was coming, so I was trying to cancel it and get shot.
Yeah. The worst crime this movie committed was it was too by the book.
I know. Like, even like you knew when the guy left, so I'm like, he's still gonna get killed somehow.
Yeah. Like, the only thing that surprised me, and it didn't really surprise me, it's more as okay, I guess, was the rocket launcher the guy had in the trunk.
Yeah, that was a little too much.
A little too much.
Like, okay, this is... Okay,
they really played him up as the gun-toting, dumb, redneck American.
Yeah, because they only got the conspiracy.
Like,
him and his brother. Like,
yeah. Already conspiracy theory. We don't trust the hospitals here.
No.
Military flying around makes us nervous because something really bad's going on.
Yeah, because then he kidnapped his brother at the hospital, taking him to a better hospital.
Yeah.
And the two guards just...
That's what I was, like, really mad about, is there's two guards supposed to be inside the hospital, and this guy with a gun has a patient with him, and they just kind of watch and let him get to the car. I was like, and you guys have semi-automatic weapons, and are military trained. He has a pistol, which I imagine he only uses at a firing range.
Yeah.
Or his backyard. I think you might be able to stop this. Yeah. Why did you stand there and do nothing?
No.
Yeah. Especially when you know that the patients in the hospital are infected and shouldn't be leaving the hospital.
Come on, right? Like...
And then you find out it's like, okay, they got far enough away, and they just get mowed down by a helicopter.
Yeah. It's like, alright. Shoot out, like, alright. Oh yeah, and then the freaking other family tried to escape.
Yeah, so another family escapes. The mom dies in a fiery car crash, and the dad and son get missiles because you have to burn the remains, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think there's a more efficient way than just missiles on that one, but hey, let's blow our budget on explosion effects, I guess, is what this movie was about.
Pretty much. I was like, alright, so, like, well, the direct-to-video movie's like, well, we'll spend also a budget on explosions. Everyone likes explosions.
Yeah. Michael Bay have a say in this. So those are our major plot points. We have the doctor, our main doctor.
Yeah.
I didn't catch his name. Henning. Dr. Henning and Dr. Edmonton had a thing, broke up because Dr. Edmonton wanted to go become a military research lab assistant.
Like,
and further a career and save the world, as he joked about. And that put the relationship on a strain and possible divorce. And you know at the end of this, they're going to get back together. There's no way around that. So, about an hour into this movie, we already covered most of the plot points. Let's get to the snakes.
Oh. Okay, well, they're coming out of the dead.
Yeah. Okay, so every time an earthquake goes off, I guess it just shoots snakes like a projectile.
Yeah, like the last one, like, literally looked like it was the snakes coming out of the peanut can.
Yeah, it's like, literally like those joke cans. I was like, okay, so that's why snakes are dangerous. If you're in an earthquake area, they're projectiles. And the fact that they're just everywhere. Like, this made no sense to me. It's like, the young boy, I think Jimmy is his name.
Yeah, Jimmy, yeah.
And the mother is the sister to Dr. Edmonton.
Yeah.
They do this dumb fake out where Jimmy goes out to play, Dr. Edmonton explains to the mom that it's like, oh yeah, snakes are the problem.
Yeah.
So just keep your kid safe by. And where is your kid? Oh, he's outside playing after he was told not to go to the frog pond. And you know, every time you tell a kid not to do something,
the kid's gonna do it.
The kid's gonna do it. So they cut to Jimmy finding something. He's like, oh, cool. And looks in, and then they cut the scene. And then they come back, and Jimmy has a little kitty cat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you jerks.
You hate that, right?
I hate that. I mean, it would have been too cliche if he ran into a snake.
I know.
But
That's fair.
yeah. And I was like, this movie isn't a past killing things you shouldn't kill on camera.
No,
we already killed a dog.
Yeah.
And of course, we see the poor dog's carcass. The cat dies, and we don't see anything of the cat after.
No, like, what? We see the dog, but like, what? Oh, the cat. That's your drama.
So I guess the director is a cat lover, not a dog lover.
There you go.
That's all I can say. Yeah, and then Jimmy goes missing for a little bit, too, after that scene where the cat gets attacked. Because all we hear is, Mom, I can't find Sally. And we don't hear from Jimmy ever again, and I have to ask, ma'am, do you know where your son is?
Is it 11 o'clock? You know where your son is?
And, yeah, so back to the snakes, because we kind of teased them there, and that's what this movie did, so we gave you a perfect reenactment of how this movie works.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, here's some snakes. Now let's cut back to the virus part. So they need a snake sample, because apparently they figured out by now that it's like, oh hey, these snakes have been living with this virus for years, they must have an immunity to it.
Yeah.
If we can harness that, we can make antibodies. So, no shit.
Yeah, no, right? So Henry goes
into a snake, basically an underground bunker.
Yeah.
Which is just a snake haven. And I'll give him props for at least wearing the proper boots.
Yeah,
but I would have worn a little more.
Yeah. But I love your comment. You thought they looked like Crocs.
Yeah, the way the boots are painted, they look like Crocs. If you didn't get a wide shot of them from first off, you would have just thought he went in with Crocs. I was like, that is a very poor choice of footwear for this mission. Anyways, we catch a snake. And I call it, and I was like, did you make sure that there weren't any snakes behind you? Turns around, there's an army of snakes behind it. And for overly aggressive snakes, we're told, they're not very aggressive right now.
No, like, they weren't
They're just kind of doing their own snake thing. So we'll sum this up real quick, because we're running out of time. Yeah. But, military guy shows up, douchebag military guy shows up, basically explains the whole plot of why this is happening, and then guys in, I don't even think the most justified way.
No, I would have preferred it if he would have
got attacked by snakes.
Yeah.
Like, I would have liked if the helicopter crashed and as he's like just
crawling out of the wreckage, falls into the den.
Yeah, falls into the den, or the snakes are just all around him.
Yeah.
And then you just hear him scream.
Yeah!
And done.
Yeah.
Instead, he flies off in the helicopter, and he gives off the douchebag lines of, man, if I could trade myself for them, I would have. I was like, every line possible to be like, you're gonna get it. It's so hard. It's a damn tragedy, a real tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sure enough, there's snakes on the helicopter.
Some guy saw the ending of this movie, was like, you know what, I got an idea, but scratch helicopter, make it a plane.
Yeah. And then the plane goes down and crashes and burns. And that's how he dies. And we're able to free ourselves because we got kidnapped by the douchebaggington. Our Dr. Edmonton goes to the media press that's inside the town, covering the whole story.
Yeah, and tells them, begging them to go off the strike.
Right, because there's actually people alive, even though you were lied to.
Yeah.
And Dr. Henning goes back to the hospital, or goes to the sheriff's office to get the flare gun that was mentioned in one scene.
Right? Like, it's just a throwaway thing.
Just a throwaway thing. Apparently, he uses that to distract the bomber.
Yeah. Just enough time for the radio call to come in.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that was sure good timing. He literally had his hand on the button. So, the overall feel of this movie, the good and the bad. Any good parts you can think of, Billy?
Not really.
Okay, this is actually the first, I think, for our channel.
Yeah.
Where we have a ton of bad things to say and very little good things to say.
Yeah.
And can I recommend this movie to anyone? Not really.
No, like...
This is so cookie cuttered, it's, like, sad. Like, I saw everything coming before I even got to the scene.
I know, that's not a good thing, right?
No.
Like, when your movie's predictable, it's...
When your movie's way too predictable, it's a scary thing. And I know it's an older movie, so it might have been new at the time.
Yeah.
But even then, I feel like these cliches were done way before.
Oh, well, yeah, like Outbreak came out 7 years earlier.
Yeah, so there you go.
Like I said, they just replaced a monkey with a snake eggs.
Yeah.
That was
basically it. So our final thoughts.
I mean, dare to watch it?
Yeah, if you're brave enough to sit through what is probably a boring horror movie,
Yeah.
then sure. Even if you have a fear of snakes, it doesn't matter. They don't show enough snake.
No, it's not enough to like initiate anyone's fear.
Yeah. So, I guess with that though, we'll call this a review here, but thank you all very much for watching. We'll have something better, I think, next week.
Yeah, I promise. No wallets, no boots, and no belts.
Which is really hard to sell because you'd make a really good belt. Until next time, have a good one, guys.